What's good? My name is Charity Croft.
Howdy, player. I'm Jacob Denzel.
And happy Day of Mourning!
You mean Thanksgiving?
Exactly, happy Thanksgiving. What is Day of Mourning, Charity? I'm glad you asked. So you remember Plymouth Rock, where the Pilgrims settled in the New World and started Thanksgiving? Well, yeah, still to this day, there are Native Americans that live there and they don't celebrate Turkey Day. Instead, they starve themselves as protest against the horrible people that slaughtered millions upon millions of their ancestors and then had the nerve to create a holiday thanking God for that. Here's the real Thanksgiving story.
What we now know as Thanksgiving is actually a European knockoff of a feast called ʻjenəәsīd, created by the ʻmôrniNG tribe that still lives in Plymouth, Massachusetts to this day. English settlers came around 1614 to their land and brought diseases that wiped out 90% of the indigenous population before the Mayflower even came. When the Pilgrims finally did come, they knew absolutely nothing about farming or survival and had the worst winter ever and almost died. As a matter of fact, the first thing they did when they got there was rob the graves of the ʻmôrniNG and steal as much of their winter food as they could carry. Now, of course, the natives were pissed and wanted to get the Pilgrims out of there. But then the Pilgrims took out their fancy muskets, pointed them at the tribes, and told them that King James, the editor of the Bible, would like to sign a peace treaty with them. Well, this treaty was signed by the natives. But still yet in 1637, the Europeans forced 600 members of the Pequot tribe to put down their weapons and convert to Christianity. The natives did just that. And once they sat their weapons down, the Europeans slaughtered all of their new brothers in Christ, then had the first annual Thanksgiving to celebrate their victory.
Damn, Daniel back at it again with the white power. But we should be used to this, right? I mean, the first national celebration of Thanksgiving was called for in 1789 by, you guessed it, George Washington, the sweet guy who brought you the idea of manifest destiny. If you don't know what that is, it's the idea that it was the founding fathers' God-given right to murder the entirety of the continent so that they could shine from sea to shining sea. So yeah, here's a secret. There's a correlation between European Christianity and ruling the world. There's a correlation between white patriarchy and ruling the world. Gee willikers, Batman, who'd have guessed it?
Not me.
So yeah, while you devour your turkey legs, the indigenous people of this country will be mourning. To remember Thanksgiving is to remember death, and not only is it to remember death, but the more dangerous notion is that it is to thank God for giving us the supreme right to dominate and to kill, and somehow imagine that God supported us in these conquests. And I know what you're thinking.
So what do you want us to do? Just sit here and feel guilty about what our forefathers did? Stop living in the past. That has nothing to do with today.
No, you're right. It has nothing to do with today, except literally everything. You do realize that just last year there was national press covering an enormous protest, the one in Standing Rock with the Sioux tribe. They were being bitten by dogs, pepper sprayed, trying to keep toxic pipelines out of their water, off of their sacred grounds. Well, just about a week ago, those same pipelines that they were worried about actually leaked. 210,000 gallons of that protested oil leaked in South Dakota. I mean, how many groups have to be formed? How many protests have to be had? How many knees have to be taken in order to see the correlation between these injustices? It's this do-without-wilt mentality without an ounce of empathy for the next. It's this sense of divine entitlement and inability to see that same divinity within others. Whether it be Columbus Day, Thanksgiving, or the Star-Spangled Banner, we have this obsession with celebrating white dominance and demeaning the resistance against it. Sometimes it's a conscious effort, but most of the time we don't even realize we're doing it.
So here's one last interesting thought about Turkey Day. You ever thought about the fact that the primary way this holiday is celebrated is by eating? And sure, we have dinner on Christmas and a bunch of other holidays, but Thanksgiving in a very specific way is celebrated just by eating. And not just normal consumption, but food in extreme excess. People look forward to this day. It is that one time a year where it is socially acceptable to engorge yourself beyond your stomach's capacity. It is a holiday of gluttony. It is a holiday of literally taking more than you need. It is a holiday of taking more than you need and thanking God for your ability to do that. But I mean, take it for what it is. Spend time with your family, eat, because with our busy American lifestyles, we rarely get the opportunity to do that. I mean, and you know what they say, families only really get to come together on holidays and funerals. Just remember that this holiday is also kind of a funeral. We're about to go eat with our mom so they don't get mad. I love you.